and then get out there and do it again on Friday, Taylor.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's good to have you in Indianapolis. It's good to have the Carolina Panthers here and NASCAR in town this weekend, which is just so exciting because obviously racing capital of the world. Everyone loves when racing comes to town, when it's the double whammy because we have IndyCar too. But yeah, the Colts echoed the same sentiment throughout the entire week, especially with the issues they've been having at quarterback. You got two young guys kind of battling it out right now with Carson Wentz out with an injury. So it was much needed to finally kind of go against somebody else and really see where they're at. Because at this point, you're about 2 weeks into camp and you think you know what you have and you look good against your own defense or you look good against your own offense. But who really knows when you're going up against, somebody else. So I think we learned a lot today. I can take it from the Colts side is it was a really positive takeaway offensively with both Sam Ehlinger and Jacob Eason getting the first team reps, splitting them. Neither one has ever gone against an NFL defense before. Both of them, Jacob Eason, just his second year, was the third string last year. Sam Ehlinger, a rookie. I know the Panthers have a pretty good defense. I know there's some youth there as well, but they liked what they saw with their quarterbacks. They were actually pretty effective, pretty efficient, and had a couple of touchdowns in the red zone. So that was a positive because throughout the last couple of weeks, it's been a struggle for Jacob Eason. It's been a struggle for Sam Ehlinger a little bit, just getting to work against this dominant Colts defense. So I think we got to see that there is some potential there and something to build off of tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, and of course for us, Sam Darnold, our new quarterback, we've had a lot of change in that position from Cam Newton to when he was injured, different people stepping in like Kyle Allen. Last year was Teddy Bridgewater, and this year it's Sam Darnold. Everyone kind of has labeled this his second chance in the NFL. He spent 3 years in New York. Take that for what it was. I think we talked with him one-on-one actually after practice. That's going to air at 11 on WCNC back in Charlotte. But he told us, I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to embrace these Carolina Panthers fans. We got to get a little taste of that at FanFest at Bank of America Stadium. But all in all, he knows this is kind of like a prove-it year for him. And I think he's just excited to be here and get that second chance and really start developing that chemistry with the offense. We've got Christian McCaffrey that's back. I know everyone is super pumped for that. He only played in 3 games last season. So he was out there taking some hits and running through some plays. So we'll kind of see what adjustments they make tomorrow for that joint practice. I'm curious to see where they go and what they learned and what they apply.
And it was interesting today. I know we see it a lot when teams get together for joint practice, especially when they haven't gotten to hit anybody else since January. There was a little incident early on in practice with one of the Colts receivers and a DB from the Panthers. So it was kind of good to see their juices flowing and to get out there and actually get to hitting. I think this is what they've been waiting for. This is what these guys are built for. So overall, I think the Colts would probably give you at least a B plus from today's effort. I don't know on the Panthers side. I'm sure that they're going to take away from a lot from that. And I think that they were decently effective as well. So.
Absolutely. Sorry. Little technical difficulty there for me. All right. Back in the game now. No, I think so too. And again, I'm just going to be curious to see what they say after day 2 and what kind of vibe they bring to the field tomorrow. I think the Colts, as you mentioned, had a lot of great plays, a lot of good takeaways for them. And we'll see what the Panthers do. Again, one-on-one with Sam Darnold going to air tonight, but I want to switch gears and talk a little bit of NASCAR. Of course, we have all the race teams back in Charlotte, but they are here making their trip to Indianapolis Motor Speedway this weekend. And for the Cup Series, it's a unique weekend. It's another new race for them this season. It's the inaugural road course race here in Indy. A lot of mixed feelings coming from those drivers. Of course, the Brickyard was a crown jewel race. A lot of drivers wanted to add that to their resume of races that they've won, but it's not going to happen this year. At least they're going to take on the road course, and I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. I know you've been here and you've covered races in the past at IMS, but what are your thoughts on what Sunday is going to be like?
It's always fun when you're at the Speedway just to be there in general. And I think a lot of the drivers will agree. It's a great feeling just to be at those hallowed grounds because of what it is. But like you, I've spoken to a couple of the guys like a Kyle Busch and a Ryan Newman, and they're pretty disappointed. Kyle Busch even went as far as to say if he wins on Sunday that he will not be kissing the bricks. It's tradition. If you win at this track, you kiss the bricks regardless of what level you're at. But because it is not on the traditional oval for the first time in 27 years, he's hesitant. Now, I will say, changing things up is never a bad thing. We did run the road course with the Xfinity series last year during that 4th of July weekend. No fans were allowed. And the ending was actually really fun. The last, I would say, 10 or so laps was extremely interesting. Chase Briscoe won, which was really cool because he's an Indiana kid and he's obviously been through so much. So that was a kind of feel-good moment, I will say. So to see how that kind of played out with stock cars running the road course here, I'm interested to see it taken up a notch with the Cup Series. It's going to be fun. I mean, and not to mention you have that going on the same time as you have IndyCar. So if you like racing at all, you're going to enjoy the weekend overall because there is some crossover. You know, you have Jimmy Johnson running IndyCar right now, so you can come watch him while also getting to watch NASCAR. Granted, he hasn't had the best year, but for the first time in his life, he's racing IndyCar. And you have an IndyCar driver is named Sage Karam. He'll be running Xfinity for the first time. He's running on the NASCAR side. So it's sort of fun to see everybody kind of get together, you know, Team Penske and Chip Ganassi. It's all a crossover.
You know, it's funny you bring up Jimmy Johnson. He did an interview this week, and he kind of said, you know, I've heard from a lot of the NASCAR guys, a lot of those guys wanting to come over to the IndyCar side and check out our paddock and what the weekend's going to be like. But he also mentioned that he's not ruling out getting back into a Cup car and racing if the right opportunity comes along. So I'll be curious if we see Jimmy back competing in the Cup Series or maybe even the Xfinity Series. But for now, he's excited, I think, to take on that venture in IndyCar. And he says he's doing it again next year, so he's learning a lot. He's a rookie. It's kind of crazy to say that, right? Like, he is a rookie at this point in his career in this series.
Yeah, and another guy you know pretty well because of the whole Penske tie, but Scott McLaughlin, who's driving IndyCar. He's a rookie too, but you know, he's so successful in the racing world. So you have him and Jimmy Johnson. So it's a lot of fun for people to see that they can kind of hop on their bandwagons, you know, coming from different circuits, which is really, really, really fun. And I know for NASCAR especially, it's getting down to the nitty gritty for IndyCar. You know, this weekend included, it's 5 races left until they crown a champion. And for NASCAR, I know even though this might not be their favorite race on the schedule, it's new. They know nothing about it. And there's only a few races left to the playoffs, right?
Yeah, 3 races for the Cup Series until they get to the playoffs. So a lot of do or die moments going to be coming up. I think we're going to see some aggressive racing, but also, again, it's an unknown for them. So I feel like if you're a driver that's on that cut line or you're trying to secure that spot in the playoffs, you can't feel great about this weekend. You're probably coming in with a lot of nerves, whether you want to admit it or not. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see because this has been the year of new, the year of change for NASCAR, right? From the Bristol dirt race to moving the All-Star race. We went back to Nashville. Now we're trying this. And I mean, that's just the name of a few things that they've done. So I'll be curious to see how it plays out. I think obviously one driver will be really happy at the end, and a lot of drivers will probably be pretty opinionated and not so happy.
And for people who don't know, it is going to be a 2.4 mile road course. It's 14 different turns. And it does incorporate, if you're an IndyCar person and you're disappointed with it not being the oval and the front straight, it does incorporate the front straight and some of turns 1 and 2. So you do still have a little bit of that oval feel, getting to kind of soak in what is IMS, I will say. So.
Well, and I'm pumped too that IndyCar's here. It's a unique weekend, right? They did this last year. It's a doubleheader weekend. They had a lot of fun, a lot of success with it. So they're doing it again this year. And I think you mentioned, you look at Jimmy Johnson's background, you look at Scott's background, and you just see how much of a family racing is, no matter what series that you come from. So it's really unique that they're going to share the stage. And I'll be curious the reaction on Monday from the racing world, what they thought of the whole weekend at IMS.
Yeah, it'll be really cool because you're going to draw people. You know, last year it was cool as a media member to be there. You know, I got to be there and it was really cool to see, but you had no one else there to enjoy it because we were in the middle of a pandemic. So it'd be cool to see NASCAR fans. Like for you, you've never been to an IndyCar race, correct? Oh, I think we lost your audio. Did we lose your audio? We might have lost, I don't know if we might have lost Ashley's audio. I can't hear you at least. No. Well, I can tell you from her facial expressions, this will be her first IndyCar race. So for a lot of people like Ashley, this is a new experience. It's an exciting experience. Obviously, Roger Penske, now the owner of the track as well. So for NASCAR fans who love them some Roger Penske, I saw him today. Actually, I was out at an event at the track. They were giving the great Helio Castroneves a bronze brick because he won his 4th Indianapolis 500 back in May. So he was out there presenting him the brick, which is Elio's former boss on the IndyCar side. So it was cool to see him out there. So, you know, the captain's going to be out there. He's gonna be walking pit lane. He's gonna be up there on his perch watching and just soaking all this in. This is an historic moment for both sports, and IndyCar's coming off of its best broadcast on NBC when they had their race in Nashville. So it's only up from here for auto racing, and this is a big weekend for them. We have Ashley again? No. Okay, we're going to troubleshoot one thing. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can write us and we can answer them for you in the meantime.
Look, I'm about to be back.
There you go.
We're just going to switch. I don't know why I have an echo. What about now?
Sound okay. Well, guys. One more troubleshoot and we'll be right back with you. If I could sing, I would sing to you guys.
What about now?
There you go. Beautifully done, Ashley.
Do you have me now?
Good to go.
Oh, wait. There we go.
Beautiful. We got you.
Back in the game. You know, thank goodness. Let me just shout out our digital team at WCNC who's telling me how to troubleshoot all of this here, because I am not a tech savvy person, but we're back in the game. Thank goodness I have two options here.
Yeah, we're not the technical side. We just do the talking sports side.
Here to talk little sports. So, anyways, but you didn't mention the event that I was going to ask you about that you got to cover today out at IMS. So you covered that topic. We kind of, I feel like, really laid the groundwork for what's to come on the racing side of things. We did do a one-on-one with Kyle Larson earlier today, and he told us, you know, we're all a little disappointed or a little sad that it's not your typical race when we come here. But he said, if the fans love it, then that's the reaction that we want, and we'll all be okay with it. So I will be curious to hear what the crowd has to say after that race.
It's going to be a good time. And for you Panthers fans out there, tomorrow's another day to get back out there on the field from 4 to 6. They'll be in Westfield, which is a little bit north of Indianapolis. And they'll be back out there again. Judging by what happened today, I think that defense is definitely going to step it up a notch. And it should be another good day. And then Sunday they play. So they'll take the day off on Sunday, right? And then Sunday, you have your first preseason game here at Hill Stadium. So it'll be a good one, and good gauge for all the new that both teams, especially at quarterback, are dealing with right now.
Definitely. And I have to say, obviously, as we mentioned at the beginning, this is my first time here, my first time kind of going out and seeing how the Colts do things. And it was such a unique experience. The Panthers, obviously, they go to Wofford College. They go down in Spartanburg for their training camp. And that's a really unique feel, right? They move into the dorm rooms. They kind of do college life together for a few weeks. Fans are able to come out and kind of sit on the hill and watch their practice. But the atmosphere today, a lot of Panthers fans were there. I heard a lot of keep pounding, a lot of shouts for Christian McCaffrey, a lot of kids in, Panthers gear. I was surprised, but I really loved the atmosphere out there. It just felt like the stands were full. People were excited to get to come out and watch those joint practices. So that was really nice to see some Colts and Panthers fans come out for those joint practices.
Yeah. And you have, of course, for people in Indianapolis who are Panthers fans, they could potentially be fans. You have a local product,
yes.
A rising star there in Jeremy Chin. He's from about 10 minutes from where training camp is being held. So I'm sure he had plenty of family members out there. A lot of people from his high school. You know, he came out of Indianapolis, was kind of underrated, flew under the radar. But there are a lot of people here who still super support him. So I know if they weren't out there today, he'll have a nice contingency tomorrow and on Sunday as well.
No, definitely. We are lucky to have him in Carolina. His rookie season last year was unbelievable. And we can kind of go back to the one game where he had 2 touchdowns in all of 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure on those defensive plays, setting some records that hadn't happened in years. So I'm really excited to see what he brings in year 2. I don't know if you know this, but the Panthers told us, Dante Jackson said, we've nicknamed him Baby LeBron because of his size, his dedication. So he's Baby LeBron to the guys on the defense in Carolina.
Well, let's hope he just continues on the same path as LeBron, which means championships for Carolina. So you can't go wrong with
We are ready. We are more than ready for that.
There you go.
We won't revisit heartbreaking 2015. We'll leave that be. A whole new squad, whole new team. So we'll see what happens. And I feel like we really kind of covered our bases. Anything you feel like we should touch on for both the folks that are in Charlotte and Indy and anywhere else that are watching that are going to be tuning in to all these events?
Hey, just tune into our socials. We're going to be around. We're going to be at the track all day tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. You got qualifying. It all starts at about 3:00 tomorrow. You got qualifying for IndyCar tomorrow night. practice for both the Xfinity and Cup Series on Saturday and the Xfinity Series Saturday, IndyCar Saturday, Cup Series Sunday. So follow along with us. I mean, this is going to be fun, and I hope if you're able to make it, you're here and say hi. Welcome to Indianapolis. If you're from Charlotte, welcome to Indy. You're here, coming.
No, it's been great, and it has been such a joy getting to see fans back in the stands, both like we mentioned at the practice earlier today, but also at these races. I feel like NASCAR is such a special sport when it comes to their fan base and how dedicated they are. And I know drivers miss seeing them in the pits with the hot passes and that kind of thing, because I feel like that's one experience you don't see in any other sport, getting to watch the crews work on the car or walk up to your driver as he's coming back from practice. So I know they're excited to see fans in the stands. It was really hard for them last year to not have like winning races and you're getting out and you're waving the flag and no one's there. So I'm excited to see the crowd this weekend. And as you mentioned before my audio went crazy, it will be my first IndyCar race in person. So I'm excited for you to show me the ropes. I'm excited to check that out. And I hear great things. So I'll be tweeting about it and sharing it on social media.
Let's have fun. We're going to do this thing.
All right. Well, this was fun. I'm glad we did this. And I am sorry for the audio issues, but we got through it. So
that's life. Trials and tribulations, we make it through. Thanks for tuning